This now the website address has changed, but it's got an archive of several thousand of these, so I just always keep the link. Okay, so we're on my website. You guys know the drill, how you do it. You can either scroll down and see what we did each day, or you can go up here to daily lessons. That's what most people do. They just click on daily lessons at the top, go down to geometry on the drop down menu. It's up there if you can see it. All right, so you've clicked. And the idea is that when you scroll down, most people see the archive of what the videos were for each day, blah, blah, blah. You can click. You can even use little arrows if it backlogs and you want to go back to a separate day to see a certain lesson. That's how most people get to the lessons. Now, we've been working on logic stuff, you know, puzzles of some type, you know, mental challenges, something that you have to use different types of reasoning. Today is a different animal completely. It is probably the more challenging thing I've given all week. I usually like to say this for a Friday every year. Now, on the website, if you didn't notice, there's been this little button here. It says Logic Puzzles. It's been there its whole life. It's been there since day one this year. I haven't removed it. It's been there. It's there every year. But most people never even notice it. If you click it, it will take you to a website that explains the definition of logic and how to use it. It uses different ideas, and this is a website I put together a while back. So it describes like where logic comes from and where, you know, brain teasers and things that have happened over the last 20th century that have really inspired a culture of, you know, problem solving and quizzing and whatnot. Okay, so I got a bunch of stuff in there, and a lot of people don't know like the history of it. And again, I've provided the links for where these things come from. Now, on the side here, I have some different links down here at the bottom. They're very hard to see. I do this subtly so no one looking at the website will actually notice this. I have sudokus, I have logic grids, so if you want to try different ones. If you want to try Tetris, Tetris is a type of logic where you have to like stack things together. Some people like Tetris a lot. If you've never played Tetris, it's the game that you're seeing right there in front of you. It's that where you stack blocks, and every time you make a solid row, it disappears. So if I were to, like, let's say, and this is not a real game, obviously these rows have been gone, but if I were to stack this like here, and you know, you can turn the object when you hit the space bar, it turns the object, and you can stack them, and then rows disappear, and you get points. And it gets faster and faster as you go. There's a bunch of games that do that. I think on the cell phones, there's Dr. Mario and other games that are puzzles like this, where you can stack and do other things. Now, the thing I want to talk about is called a cryptoquote. If you've never heard of a cryptoquote, it is a puzzle where they took a famous quote from some author, or some politician, or somebody famous. It could be an athlete. And what they do is they replace all the letters in the puzzle, all the letters. So if you had a quote, they take, like, let's say in your quote there's a lot of letter A's in all of the words you've been saying. They take all the A's and replace it with a different letter of the alphabet, not an A. All of them are the same letter. So they're, all the A's are replaced with, let's say, a G in the entire puzzle. So let me just show you an idea what I'm talking about. This is a crypto quote. Now, obviously this is from years back. It's from almost a year ago. The website has not been updated for a long time. I wonder if they switched addresses. But they backlog these things. They used to do one every single day for like 20 years. And so there's thousands of these things. And I used to do one of these every single day. It was like something I took to class with me. And I was introduced by my teacher. And it's almost an English exercise as well as a puzzle at the same time. Your goal is to figure out what the puzzle says, okay? And it's tough. Like, you're looking at it and going, oh my God, what is it even saying, right? And you're supposed to figure out what each of the words say. It is actually saying something up there. And so things that when you first look at it, so I'm looking over at this overall puzzle. There's a word up there that stands out. Can anyone see the thing that stands out when you look up there?
UL.
Say it again?
UL.
UL happens a lot, correct? That's something I noticed as well. There's a lot of them. UL. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of them. They're all the same word. So it's, U stands for some letter and L stands for some letter. Okay? Now, there's another word that also stands out. It's a red flag in my head. It's right third line, second word from the end. Do you see it?
F-O-G.
Apostrophe something. Right? What words have apostrophes in them? Think about words that have, this little apostrophe in it.
They usually end with an
S or
S.
T. So those are things I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of words like can't or won't. It wouldn't be the word like doesn't. That's too many letters, right? This is a 4-letter word. So what I'm thinking right now, just ballparking, again, I'm literally guessing here. I'm thinking this. It's probably an N and a T. That's a guess. It's a red flag. Usually these puzzles have something you can go off of. So if I go with that idea, and I think that U's are T's, I can go in the whole puzzle and start replacing all these U's with the letter T. Does that make sense? Did I miss any U's? I don't think I did.
Yeah.
Did I? Where's
Last word, first line.
last word, first line?
Down the middle.
Oh, geez. Yeah, thanks. Didn't even see that. Any others? I think I got them all. Okay. Does that make sense? Now, what's a 2-letter word that has a T in the front? 2. So probably the L stands for O. So I'll replace all the L's with O's.
He's doing it for us, yes.
Yeah, you get the first one for free.
No.
And no, I've not done this puzzle before. This is brand new to me. I'm doing
He
the
just
same
knows
thing you
how
are.
to
I
write.
went back and picked a date I didn't do.
First
Top,
line.
first line, fourth word, fifth word,
Fifth word.
Follow to the-
right past one.
Did I go past one?
Right past one. The fifth
UL.
word.
First line.
First line.
UL.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right, now. I think I got all the O's in there. Okay, now, I still don't know this F though, that one. It could be won't or don't. I'm thinking of different words, right? So I'm not gonna guess the F yet. There's too many options and I don't wanna make a colossal mistake yet. There is another word up here that is a red flag to me. I don't know why my eyes are drawn to it automatically. I've done a lot of these. It's this word right here. It's that word right there. It starts with a T and ends with a T, and there's 2 letters in the middle of it.
That.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. So all the J's are H's and E's are A's. I'm thinking this is the correct word. Now, again, there could be other words. It could be the word test or other things like that. But that doesn't usually happen in normal English language. Like when you talk through a sentence, you usually don't use the word test. It's just not in the normal vocabulary. The word that probably would happen more. I'm just going off of ballparking. So if I start to go through here and start replace certain letters, and again, I am guessing. I am going off of just pure instinct. I don't know if this is actually the right word here.
Are G's ends?
G's ends. Let's see. On, or it could be an N like that. Could be an R, like or.
We have the N over there and the unk.
Oh yeah,
No.
yeah. There you go. So I could call him that one. Didn't even put that logic in it. Didn't think of that one through. N. I think we're starting to get this. I think we're on the right page here. Anyone know who the author is? Because I know it now.
Yeah.
Madonna. So I think we're on the right page. Do you see how these work now? It is literally guessing. Now, what makes puzzles easier versus more challenging? The length of the puzzle, like this, having a longer puzzle is better. And I know that seems counterintuitive, because you have more options for more words to see. I think we're on it. I'm thinking that this word right here, with the AN in front, I think it's anything. So you can start to see, now I can start to fill in all the words and start to go crazy and start to fill in everything, and you'll start to see what the quote actually says. But you agree in the beginning, it was just totally random. We are guessing. It takes a lot of English. The most common letter used in the English language, which most people don't know, is the letter E. E happens more in every word that you talk about than any other letter. So if you're in Wheel of Fortune, E is the letter to go for. It is the letter to go for. When you're trying to figure out the puzzle and what it says. It's in most quotes. Anyway, the only problem with Wheel of Fortune is that they don't give you quotes with longer sentences. Everything's short and concise so that the people that are on the show can get through them really quick and do about 5 or 6 puzzles before the end. But this is the idea. Instead of Vanna releasing the tiles and telling you where the letters are, you are trying to figure out where the letter goes. And so you just have to replace it. Don't replace a letter with the letter that's already there. So if I'm going to go up here and Q is not going to go there. It's a different letter of the alphabet, and it's not that whatever letter I replace with Q. Let's say it's a T. It's not, because obviously we replace T0. If this is a T, don't think that T's are Q's. They don't flip-flop. Every letter is random. And it's not a perfect cipher. Cipher is when you take the English alphabet, right, and you shift it. So it would do something like this. It's not that. That's a cipher when they shift letters. We're not doing that. Every letter is random. It's been randomized. So what somebody did was just take a quote and go, okay, I'm going to replace all of these letters with E's from now on. And they went through and replaced them all with E's. And they said, okay, this letter, I'm going to pick N for all I care. And then they're going to replace them all with N's. And they just go backwards and do it. It's tough. It's really hard to figure it out. Especially when the puzzles are significantly shorter. Okay. Questions with the idea of what we're doing here. Okay, now if you want to finish it, you can. I'll let you kind of go at it and kind of do this. If you want, I can print it off for you if you want to try it. I'll make it really big and you can put up letters in there. I'm going to leave that up there. You can go back in this archive, so if you go to my website, you can go back on the top where it says crypto quotes, it has archives. You can go back to thousands of these and pick any day, and it will keep track whether you're doing it right or wrong. Now, obviously the website has hints, and you can check your answers. I've never done that. I've never had to do that. Just because the website's really kind of difficult to type stuff in. Like when you start typing, there's spaces under here. If you click, it'll let you type. It doesn't line up correctly, so it's really it doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it. And if you check your answer and you don't have everything perfectly spaced right, and you don't put the right commas, and it tells you you're wrong even though you have the right quote. So I just don't even do it. All right. Questions on this idea of logic. Now, I want to show you a difficult one, okay? Because I just picked this one. I've never done it before. Honestly, I've never have. I want to just show you a difficult one. So this website, they kept it up to date until about, I think the next day. I think it was September 9th of last year. So this was the last one that they published on this website. I think what they did is they moved to a new website, had a new web host and whatnot. All right. This puzzle is difficult. The reason why it's difficult, it's super short. And there's not a lot of red flags here to tell me what the words are. There's things up there when I see it that are kind of red flags to me. But this is tough. This one's a hard problem. If I was looking at this puzzle for the first time, which I am, I've never done this one before, things that draw my attention, probably that word with the IRTR, that letter R repeated. And if you look in the puzzle, there's a lot of R's, kind of everywhere. So you got to be careful in that situation, like what letters you're picking. If I pick an E for R, maybe this is like the word here, right? For H-E-R-E. The thing I would check is like, do you use a lot of words with R's at the end of them? Like what would that be? Would it be like he or be or me or something like that? So you have a lot of options. Or if I said this was here, I's are H's. So is there any other H's in this puzzle? There isn't. Is there another I up there? I don't think there's an I. So you got to be careful of like what letters you're picking. There's on this puzzle also what makes this difficult is there's a lot of 2-letter words. Like look at that string of 2-letter words here. That's a lot put back to back to back to back to back. So yeah, that to me that's kind of a red flag. That this makes this a super difficult problem. If I was doing this, oh God, yeah, I'd probably start with the IRTR part and just kind of branch out from there. Also, another word that draws my attention is this one. There's 2 letters in the middle that are matching. So, what are words that would have 2 letters in the middle that match? Like what letter can you put back to back in any English language? O's, E's. Those are like little things I think of. It could be a T. Sometimes you could put 2 T's together or 2 L's together. But in the middle of a word, that's kind of odd. It could be S's. It could be S's. So,
it could be little. Like with 2 T's.
If it was little, Little, the first and this letter would be the same for little.
Oh, yeah.
So that's also something I think of. Yeah, so it makes it kind of difficult when you start to see like the process you have to go through. Like this one to me is a tough problem. Sometimes it's kind of easy to figure out who the quote is. Not just like single person names like Lady Gaga or Madonna or Bono or Sting or unknown. Sometimes they have like author unknown or just anonymous. Like that's the last authors. They just didn't have an author's name. So it's usually somebody famous, believe it or not. So yeah, I thought this is kind of fun. I wanted to give you a chance to try some of these today. So if you want, you can go on your Chromebook, you can try one of these out today. You can go back to any date. You can pick like the last one we did with Madonna, and you can see what a quote says. You can go try some of those other puzzles out. But today I want to give you a little bit of chance. You can just play around with that if you want. You can go back and try some of those other logic stuff. If you want to finish up the logic grid that I handed out on Wednesday this week, I want that turned in today. That was the one with the bounce letters. I want that one turned in if you haven't already. I'm going to hand out some papers here in the next 10 minutes or so, and that's it for today. It's a pretty easy little Friday. So, question? Yes, you may.